Okay guys, welcome to Basket Case Builds. Today's basket case is a generic leaf blower, not sure of the make or model, doesn't particularly have any markings on it. I picked this up for $5 at the dump, recycle centre or the tip or the waste management section, whatever you want to call it, whatever country you're from. Like I said, $5. Don't know if it goes, but one test I did do, and I'll show it to you now, you should do for any machine, especially a small two-stroke like these, is to take the weight of the machine with the ripcord, and it should at least try and hold its own weight with its compression. Let me show you. This one's not too bad, it slowly goes down. That's what you want. You want it to be able to hold its own weight within reason. Now if you pick this up and it just goes all the way to the ground like that, leave it there. Generally all that goes wrong with these things, for the average person that owns one, is fuel lines go hard and crack, bad spark plug, and old fuel. Other than that, they generally go forever. The only problem that you have with them is someone runs a straight gasoline petrol through them with no oil mix. That's when you run into trouble. I've got it up on the bench. I'll take this blower manifold off just for sake of handling and ease, and then we'll get some fuel down the cylinder. See if we can get it to run. Oh well, it's easier to handle like that, and I guess it's better than breaking something, so let's just throw that back in there for now. Awfully tight. It has to travel that way in that keyway to come out, so it's got to rotate that way. But anyway, it's easy enough to handle. I've got half of it off. Alright, plug out. It's definitely a Chinese brand. All the spark plug is anyway. It's actually running reasonably sweet. Nice tan electrode. They call it a torch L6R TC. It's like a CJ8 or in a champion plug or something to that effect. I've got some fuel. This is just 2-stroke, 32:1. It's real dark because it's a BP oil. It's a real dark coloured oil. Draw some fuel up into there like such. Try again. A little bit down the plug hole. Plug back in. I didn't check for spark, probably should have checked for spark, but it's okay. We're going to find out, I guess, if it does. I don't really understand why it was thrown in the bin, but anyway. These normally, like, choke is off, choke is on. Oh, need it on first. Nice. It's going to run. Very good. Smells grungy, but the tank looks pretty good. You can tell from the outside, but shining a torch up underneath it showed it was pretty good. Still got a fuel filter in there. I have a fuel filter that sits, the two hoses that are here, one's a return line and one's a pickup point, and pickup point has a fuel filter on it. Runs in, diaphragm carby, back out. Just a big circuit. This air filter, if it's got an air filter, you usually come across these and it's rotted out and fallen apart. Yes, it's got an air filter. Wonders never cease. And why would you design something that is so ridiculously tight to get out? There we go. Friendly daddy long legs and company. Get out. As I said before, these fuel lines, they actually do flex. They're not rock solid yet, but you can see from the dirt mark here, you can probably find that rubber grommet might have gone hard. End up leaking around here. It's okay. We'll work it out. There we go. Let's put it back on. That way. Try and put it back the same shape, or same. If the housing's got a funny shape to it, better off to try and put it back the way it was. Making sure all sides are good. At this early stage, I don't want to invest heaps of time in trying to pull the carby apart if we don't have to. It might be good enough that it primes itself and starts when we put some fuel in a tank, but you never know. Those fuel lines are definitely, they're not rock hard, but they're not the best. So we'll go ahead and put some fuel in it. We know it runs, we've got a fresh air filter clean. So it's the minimum that I'm going to do. 32 to 1, 91 octane, no ethanol. Well, that's what the pump says. And I just broke that. Nice work. Anyway, we'll put some fuel in. There's not much in here, it doesn't matter. I don't really want to put a full tank of fuel in it if it's not going to behave itself. Now I need a pair of pliers. I'm going to extract that. Stopper out. Rock hard. That's what happens when it gets a little bit old. It's not a showstopper, it's only for to keep the fuel lid from dropping in the dirt when you refuel it. Now this should have a primer, I would think. Yes. Whether you can see it or not, the primer is hiding right there. Yeah. And I just found the problem. Our little primer friend is no more, as well as the fuel tank leaks. Primer has a great hole in it. That's another thing that can go wrong with them. It's like the same scenario as the fuel lines. Yeah, there you can see the primer bulbs, all the lump hanging out of it. Well, that's part of the bulb. It's got a hole in it. Alright, let's take this primer bulb off. That is all the bulb is. They just go hard with time, heat, ethanol fuel and whatnot that they've got nowadays. Awesome stuff. So I've just been down to the local mower shop and I've got all the parts I need to get this going. Primer bulb, new primer bulb. I couldn't get a lid retainer that hangs onto the lid while you got the lid off. It doesn't really matter. It's not a drama, it's more of a luxury, I guess. Piece of fuel line, fuel filter, and an NGK spark plug. 24 bucks, so we're in it for 29. I guess, plus my labour, which I don't count because it's a hobby. Let's put this primer bulb in this carburetor and see how we go. This is a genuine Wildbro car. That was the dearest lot. $9 just for that. That's okay then. Just pushes in, sits in the hole. Make sure it seats. Set that back on. We've got our fuel lines on after I struggled. This one just needed a little bit of convincing to get through, but we're all good now. I'm going to pop him in the fuel tank. And then we're going to follow on by carburetor on, fuel lines on, and manifold plate and air filter housing. Let's do it. After a bit of a struggle with the hoses, and I had to I've got to get the orientation right. This will slide round, because if I don't, I put that back in as it is, the fuel lines actually rub. That's not good. So rotate this around. You can do it with a pair of screwdrivers and just lever it around as such. Without damaging it, obviously. There we go. So now the fuel lines aren't actually touching. And I've got enough hose length to reach the manifold, and it's not tight. We're back together. Throttle movement is nice and smooth. It returns by itself. Fuel lines are not tight. They're nice. So, without further ado, use a prime. There we go. The fuel's running back through. Should be good. Let's see if it goes. Prime, choke, full throttle. Throttle off, choke off. pretty happy with that. No leaks, runs in all positions. It coughed because it's got low fuel, and I took the fuel away from the actual filter. It picked back up once we were back up in the upright position. So finally a success.